Yeah, well, we're looking forward to be back at the Ralph here. I know it's been a little bit of time since we were back at the Ralph. We've only played 2 games here, and we're looking forward to our 5 of our remaining 6 games here at the Ralph before we play the postseason.
Just looking at the standings and seeing Duluth and St. Cloud come up right against you guys this last weekend. What are your thoughts on what you guys need to do down the stretch to win the Penrose again?
Obviously, win games. There's 6 games left. You have to win each and every one of those and control your own destiny. And we painted the picture to our guys early this week as far as where we stand, where everybody else stands in the league, and how many games remaining, home and away, who their opponents are, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to concentrate on each and every game that you play and control your own destiny. And I firmly believe if we, do what we want to do, we have a very good chance of winning it. So, again, like I said, there's a lot that goes into the next few weeks here, but the concentration of winning each and every game starting with Friday night.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned 5 of the next 6 at home after only having 2 there so far. What's the benefit of that coming down the stretch?
Well, there's a lot of different things. When you really look at us starting the year, well, the whole league, going into a pod, that was a great experience, but it was a grind. We were gone for close to a month and playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, and then coming off a Christmas break, and then going into Colorado, going into Denver, having 2 at home, going back to Omaha. We've been on the road the whole time, so now it's about keeping your foot on the gas, but now having the luxury of sleeping in your own bed, going to the rink, going to doing your classes, doing everything at home, but yet having the mentality of a focus and a concentration on what you have to do to win a 60-minute game. I just think that it brings a lot into the fact that we've worked hard throughout this season, but now we've earned the right to try to play at home here and play the right way to do what we want to do. And we've had success in this building. It doesn't guarantee a future success, but if we play to the identity of our team and the way we want to do collectively as a group, it helps having the home ice.
What do you see when you look at Denver's team? I know their record isn't as good as we thought it was going to be, but watching them play, they look pretty good to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go up and down the lineup of the league, I think that you'd say that to a lot of teams, and there's teams like Denver and Omaha and Western Michigan, and obviously the top 3 that are at the top of the standings here. Like from 1 to 8, that's what you're going to see each and every night. I think they've been unfortunate on some bounces in games, leading games and then giving up some leads and different things like that. But at the end of the day, they play hard as a team. They play fast, and they've got some good young players in their group. They've got good goaltending, and it's one of those situations where it seems like one night it goes their way and the next night it doesn't. So in this league, you got to try to have to win 2 in a row to keep going and climb the standings on each and every weekend here. So we know what we have coming in here in Denver. We've always had some hard battles against them. They're a rival. It's our guys get intense for those series, and I'm sure they do too. So yeah, it's a situation here where they're trying to climb into a top 4 spot. They want to get into that role. We know that. We're trying to climb into the top spot in the league here. So I think both teams are both playing for something, and you're going to see some intensity this weekend.
What does Gabe Bast bring back to the lineup?
Yeah, well, experience. A guy that's he's just a hockey player. He loves to play in competition and play in these type of settings and types of games going forward. But he's had throughout his career, he's had some situations where he's been in and out of the lineup due to some injuries and different things. And now that he's healthy, we're excited that he's back in here. But I think he brings some experience, especially when you got some young guys in our lineup here on the back end with Jake Sanderson, Tyler Clevin, Cooper Moore, all freshmen. He provides some leadership and some experience back there to help out the younger guys and obviously helping our team here in critical situations.
Does it give you flexibility? With him being a right-handed shot, I know you guys had Jake playing on the right side. Does that give you more flexibility on what you do with your D pairings?
Yeah, it does. Obviously, I think one thing a lot of teams like to do is they like to have lefty-righty combinations on their strong sides. But for us, I mean, if you're good enough defense with good enough feet and guys that think the game would know the next play, it really doesn't matter. But I think it gives you affordability now of having them on their strong sides and in situations. And I know Gabe has played a lot with Tyler Clevin on a pair, and they've done really well together.
Hey, Coach, what's impressed you about Shane Pinto's play as of late?
consistency, probably the consistency in his game. I thought he had an outstanding 10 games in the pod, and then, he had a little minor setback with an injury in the last game, and then went through the Christmas holidays, came back, and I thought probably his probably not his strongest games were in Colorado Springs, but after that, those first 2 games in Colorado Springs, he's been outstanding here. And again, I think it's a level of consistency where, he's fully healthy here. He's a guy that's excited to play. He makes everybody else around him better, and he just brings an element that a true professional does. And again, it's nice to know that he's being consistent in his game because everybody else kind of follows when that happens.
Thank you, Coach. One of the things you mentioned in our radio program here the other day is that you're there pretty early and you see what guys come in early in the day. You mentioned Mark Senden, and I think over the years, I think it's pretty customary. You see the veterans kind of figure it out, get in early, do a lot of work. But what's surprising, what you mentioned was you have some younger guys that are, freshman type players that have figured that out to come in early. Mentioning Jake and Tyler specifically. Is that unusual but impressive? Could you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, no, it's impressive. For sure it's impressive, especially as a young guy to do that. But, I think, players are all wound differently on what gives them success and what they like to do. And I just admire the guys that prepare themselves and take a little bit more time in doing it. And again, not to say that other guys that are filtered in here later aren't. I mean, they have a different way of preparing. But, when there's a reason why, and again, I'll allude to Tom Brady. There's a reason why guys have a successful career in whatever they do, showing Tom Brady as being an example of just the preparation and the time it takes to do it and the success they have going forward. And I just think that, anytime, whether you have a 4-year veteran or you have a true freshman, in the fact of Jake Sanderson, Tyler Clevin coming in really early to prepare their day, I think that's outstanding because it sets the bar and it allows yourself to have a chance to have success and have no excuses. And again, I think that's great. If you can build that in your culture with more and more guys, I think it's outstanding. And again, it's something that we take pride in here at North Dakota.
What was your reaction to the NCHC announcing they were going to put the playoffs here at the Ralph?
Yeah, well, we were very excited and humbled and obviously prepared for that announcement. And I think there's a lot of different places that could have hosted. But at the end of the day, the people here at the Ralph, Jody Hodgson, Bill Chaves, Eric Martinson did an outstanding job of, preparing of the reasons why we should have it here. And I think it goes back to the body of work and the background of the high-end tournaments that we've had where there's World Juniors, U18s, regionals, different things that we've hosted here with multiple teams and how professionally how it was handled and the attention to detail that goes into it. So I wasn't surprised, but very excited that it was announced that it's here, and it'll be a great experience for everybody.